Thank you for clicking into this video. I am so close to reaching my 500 subscriber goal. So if you choose to like, comment, or subscribe, and on with the video. So I just finished a wash and I decided I wanted to try perm rods. So I have some that I just haven't used. I generally don't style my hair, but I figured it's long enough now, so I'll go ahead and give it a try. And I wanted to try curls with perm rods first. So what you see me doing here is really mostly focusing on my scalp with the sulfurate oil. I'll leave a link in the for the video I did where I bought this product. I've been using it now for a couple months and I really like it for dealing with like dry scalp and dandruff or psoriasis and whatnot. So that's what I'm putting and mostly focusing on the areas where I usually have those problems. This is Blueberry Bliss by Curls. This product I'm mostly just using because I like the way it smells and I like the way my hair feels when it's applied. My hair isn't like wet, but it is kind of damp in order for me to do this style. So I'm just applying that throughout my hair, which is different than what I do with the sulfurate. So when I'm finally satisfied with applying the oils to my hair after this wash, I go ahead and start parting it out and detangling the locks, which sounds odd because it's not loose natural hair, but my locks do get tangled now that they're longer. And then I bought 2 different products to try for this perm rod curl project. Both of them were by Talia Wajid, but I decided to only use one, which you will see shortly. But first I have to part out my hair, so I'm gonna try to use the perm rods in sections. So first I section my hair off down the middle, which you saw before, and then I take those sections in the front and section it off from the back of my hair, and then I'm just going to braid it down all the way down, and then I tie it off with a lock that'll go all the way around the braid so that it'll hold until I finish sectioning off the rest of the hair. So in the back, I decide to do split it down the middle the way I did in the front, but I'm gonna section each side off into 3 different sections to put on perm rods. I did count and I realized I only had 10 perm rods to use, so I'm trying to section the hair off so that I can use all of what I have available. So I'm just sectioning that off into the 3 sections right now, and then kind of doing a bantu knot to hold it in place until I'm ready to put the perm rods in. These knots are not tight. As you can see, like one of them is laying on the hair that I'm trying to use. So I grab a rubber band at some point and I just tie it up there so it'll be up and out of the way. So this is the Talia Wajid Crinkle Curls Mousse. I decided to use this instead of the other product I purchased, which was a leave-in conditioner moisturizing spray. because my hair is already damp as it is, I didn't want to add too much product because I need my locks to dry well on these perm rods in order for the curls to hold, or at least that's what I thought when I was doing it. So I chose to use the mousse instead. I do like the other product, the leave-in conditioner one spray, but it does leave like a tacky or sticky feeling after I use it, so I don't use it as often. So I take the mousse and I'm going to coat the strands or locks, each individual lock, as best I can while detangling all the way down to the end. And then once I'm satisfied with the amount of mousse I've applied, I take a perm rod and I try to wrap the locks around the perm rod as tightly as I can. But as we go along in this process, you'll see most of them, except for maybe the first one, are really loose. And so I'm thinking that may have had an effect on the outcome, but this is just the process I'm going through now. I haven't done this before, so this was my first try. While I'm watching myself struggle with putting these locks on this perm rod, I'm just noticing all of these random facial expressions I did not know I made while trying to do my locks or anything else. So y'all, please excuse my face. It is stressing me out over here. Don't judge me for my face. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. Okay, so right there you can kind of see where it's not really up there well, and so now I have to figure out how to secure it so that it won't come down. So some of the perm rods I have like wrapped around the other perm rod that I did previously, and so I'm just gonna repeat this process on the other side, as you can see here. And then once I've done both sides in the back, then I move to the front and I undo the lock that I tied off for this braid so it will hold. And then I'm going to split this front side into two sections and then do two perm rods over here, and then I'll repeat that process on the other side of my head. So those duck clips are definitely a sign of frustration with putting these locks around these perm rods, because in the front of my head, some of my locks are, especially around the edges, they are shorter than the other ones. And so wrapping them around the perm rod was difficult because they would fall out while I was wrapping the longer lock, and then I would have to find a way to add it to the pile so that it would wrap around the perm rod in the same direction that I was currently already wrapping. It was just really frustrating. So I will go buy more perm rods, but I'm also going to try to get smaller sizes or shorter sizes to wrap those few locks that are on the shorter side with. And maybe that will help the next time I try a perm rod set. So now that I have finished putting the perm rods in, I tie my hair up and then put my bonnet on until the next morning. The next morning, I could tell they weren't completely dry, but I go ahead with the process, and I was just kind of hoping that maybe the curls held a little bit, even though my hair wasn't fully dry. I didn't realize how damp my hair still was until I started taking them down, but I really think that had an effect on the outcome. So with this first one, you can already see like it's crinkled in some areas on certain locks. At the very bottom is where you can see the most curl, but it is definitely a fail. So I just go ahead and take the rest of them down, and you can see on each one that I take down, the bottom half of the lock is more curled than the rest of it. So if anyone has done perm rods before on their locks, please leave a comment. Oh, that one was really good at the bottom. Please leave a comment on how you did it, or what your process is like, or what I can do differently, because I'd like to try to get more curls, even if they're full body. I'd like to see what my locks look like in that state. But in the meantime, if you made it this far in the video, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.